Okay. Thank you. Okay, so my name is Marushak. I'm a meteorology student up here at Penn State, Hazleton. And this is going to be about severe weather. Okay, well, that wasn't as loud as I thought it would be, but did I get your attention? Okay, so can anyone name some examples of severe weather?
Hurricane.
Hurricane, good one. Anyone else?
Tornado.
Tornado, yep, there's a good one. Over here.
Flash floods.
Flash flooding, okay.
Tsunami.
Earthquake.
Earthquake.
Earthquake, well, that's severe, but it's not. Snowstorm, okay, there you go. Well, here's some examples that come to my mind, and I have thunderstorms, flooding, blizzards, dense fog, ice storms, tornadoes, and hurricanes. So you did name a few up there. So what is severe weather anyway? Okay, well, as compared to this gentle snowfall that I have up here, okay, this might be a severe storm, okay? Now, severe weather is defined by the Weather Channel as any destructive weather event, but usually localized storms such as blizzards or intense thunderstorms, tornadoes, etc. Now, an overview, what I'm going to be talking about in detail, we have severe thunderstorms, tropical cyclones, hurricanes, and blizzards. Okay, so this first section is going to be about severe thunderstorms. And so what is a severe thunderstorm? A severe thunderstorm meets any of these three criteria. Okay, we have winds 58 miles per hour or greater, hail 3/4 inch diameter or larger, or a tornado. If a thunderstorm meets any one of those three criteria, it will be classified as severe. It could also meet any combination of the three. Now, this first danger that we have in thunderstorms is hail. So, according to the Weather Channel, hail is precipitation in the form of chunks of ice that fall from cumulonimbus cloud. And this is actually pictures from a hailstorm that happened at my house. These pictures are from my front porch, actually. And some of the hail that fell, these are probably about softball-sized hail, and there was quite a bit of damage. And this is some of the damage that it can cause. And naturally, we have big balls of ice that are falling from the sky at high speeds. And that is a picture of the roof of my house. And over on the left, we have... that's actually the shingles. They were actually pulverized into tiny little grains from the hail actually hitting the roof. So that is the kind of damage that hail can cause. Now, next up we have lightning, which is, of course, lightning is what causes thunder, and that's where thunderstorm gets its name. And here's some statistics, and lightning does actually cause quite a few deaths every year. And there's the thunder again, okay. So other hazards in a thunderstorm would be the wind. Now, I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. And then we also have flash flooding, which might look something like that, where the water builds up in very short time and doesn't have anywhere to go. And then we have tornadoes, which really deserve a category by themselves, and we should really talk about them in more detail, but I'm not going to because that would take a long time. So our next section is going to be about hurricanes. Okay, this will be a view from space, and I just reused the slide that I had at the beginning of the presentation. So what is a hurricane? Well, a hurricane is a system of storms that are highly organized on a very large scale. Now, hurricanes are classified based on their sustained wind speed. That's their constant winds. It's not gusting winds, it's actually continuous winds. And we have... goes all the way up from tropical storm to Category 5. Now, the categories in red are the very intense storms that are capable of causing very heavy damage, and they're classified as major hurricanes. So, now, tornado versus a hurricane, okay? I had this question asked me a lot of times when we had that Hurricane Irene back in August. Okay, well, this will be a picture of a tornado, okay? Well, this is actually a water spout, but the water spout is just a tornado over water. So, and you can see, based on the size of this boat here, might be about maybe a quarter of the height of the tornado there. Now that is a picture of Hurricane Irene as it was coming in, and this is in North Carolina, okay? Now, as you can see, the hurricane is actually all of these clouds that are right up here, okay? So it's actually quite a bit larger than a tornado, okay? And this would be a dock down here, so you can kind of judge, over here's a boat, so you can kind of judge how big a hurricane would be compared to a tornado. Now, here's a satellite imagery from Friday Friday evening, I believe. Yes, 7:45 in the afternoon. And over here, this is Hurricane Irene, and the center is not even hitting North Carolina yet. But here we are, and here are some of the clouds coming over top of us. Now, the hurricane really didn't get very intense here until once in a while, so I'm going to move back over here. Okay, so what are some of the hazards in a hurricane? Okay, well, first of all, we have the wind. Okay, now, if you look over here, a wave hit the shoreline, it exploded up, and the wind just took all the water. So that's the power of the wind. Now, the hazards associated with the wind are not actually the wind itself, it's more the debris that's caught in the wind. So you have, pieces of houses, deck chairs, 2x4s, anything that's being picked up and thrown about by the wind is actually going to hit things and cause some damage. And then the more stuff that gets destroyed, the more debris you get, and it just gets even more dangerous. The next would be heavy rain and flooding, which I'm sure everyone can relate to this with all the rain and flooding that we've had. Then, of course, tornadoes. Hurricanes actually do spawn tornadoes very commonly. And then storm surge. Okay, this is a big issue. As the hurricane comes over land, there's a dome of water that builds up from the wind and the low pressure. It'll actually pick up water and come over top of the shore with it. And it'll just cause massive flooding. Like over here, we have a car, we have buildings, and back out that way would be the ocean. And that's the kind of devastation that storm surge can cause. That's more of a coastal issue than an inland issue. And then evacuation can actually be a hazard. Okay, if you get a big traffic jam, if people leave late, people leave too early, if it's not conducted in an orderly fashion, you can actually have a lot of people stuck on the roads when the hurricane comes in, and that can be devastating. Now, our next section is going to be about blizzards. Okay, this is more of a winter event, and we're coming up on winter right now. So what is a blizzard? Okay, in order to have a blizzard, the following must be present for 3 hours or longer. Okay, we need to have winds sustained or frequent gusts over 35 miles per hour and falling or blowing snow that reduces visibility to a quarter mile or less. Okay. Now, a ground blizzard would be the above conditions with just blowing snow. There's no snow actually falling. And that would be a classification by itself, but it's the same effects. Now, okay, the hazards associated with a blizzard, well, we have the wind again, but in this case, it's cold outside for a blizzard, so we have the wind chill, which is the effect that the wind has on your skin. So as the wind blows over your skin, it takes heat with it. So your skin encounters more air molecules than it would normally. Now here's a chart of wind chill factor, and you can see over here, now if we had 40 mile per hour winds at 35 degrees Fahrenheit, it would feel to our skin like 20 degrees at no wind. Now that's a dramatic effect that the wind can have. Now, the other hazard would be you have all of this blowing snow, and it might look something like this. This would be a whiteout, okay? And a whiteout is when your visibility is reduced to almost nothing, and you can't really see anything in front of you. Can anyone make out the telephone pole on the right side of the picture there?
No.
No? It's right about over here. Right there. So that's not very far away, and there's that truck right there. So imagine driving in this kind of condition. Well, this might be the effect. This is a 50-car pileup in about somewhere around Erie, Pennsylvania, I believe, and that is due to a whiteout and a blizzard conditions. So that might be the effect. So this is actually a very dangerous situation when you have very low visibility and cars on the road. And so, in conclusion, what have we talked about? We have seen 3 different severe weather phenomena, and those were blizzards, hurricanes, and thunderstorms, and the dangers of each. Now, what is the point of all of this? Okay, the global warming is actually threatening to increase the severity and frequency of these events. And I chose this picture. I took this picture actually, and I chose this picture because we're basically on a road into a stormy time.
Awesome.
So, thank you for attending, and there are my sources.